There are moments in history that carve themselves into the ledger of time, etched in shame, written in cowardice. Today was one such moment. The President of the United States, a man who lurches through history with the grace of a drunken elk and the cunning of a spoiled child, found himself seated across from Volodymyr Zelenskyy, the war-battered, iron-spined leader of Ukraine. And in this moment, when all eyes, all cameras, all nations watched, Donald J. Trump, the self-styled Colossus, proved himself once again to be a trembling, spineless marionette. A coward wrapped in a cheap suit, desperate to please the only man whose approval truly matters to him. Not the American people, not the Constitution, not the soldiers who bled under our flag, but Vladimir Putin, the oligarchic maestro of his every move. It would have been enough for Trump to merely bumble through his talking points, to stammer some vague, unconvincing drivel about peace and diplomacy, to offer the world his usual carnival of verbal sludge. But no, today was a performance, a deliberate, humiliating display of submission. His words dripped with hesitation, his shoulders rounded like a schoolboy caught lying his homework, his eyes flickering with the unmistakable glint of fear. And yet when the moment came to acknowledge the real villain, the butcher of Ukraine, the slayer of democracy, the man who has made assassinations a form of diplomacy, Trump instead turned his gaze toward Moscow and batted his eyelashes like a debutante at a ball. He spoke of negotiations and understandings, each syllable carrying the stink of appeasement. When history looks back on this day, it will not see a leader of the free world. It will see a groveling salesman, a huckster who traded the soul of his country for the smile of a dictator. But Trump, for all his failures, is merely the figurehead. The great tragedy of the American decline is that he is not alone. No, this was not just a personal act of cowardice. It was a synchronized ballet of bootlicking, a group effort in national humiliation. J.D. Vance, the ever-loyal sycophant who scuttled through the meeting with the clumsy enthusiasm of a court gesture, spinning contradictions, winking at his king, contorting himself into whatever ideological shape best pleased the ruler of the moment. Vance, who once in the days before his soul was reduced to a smoldering pile of ambition, called Trump an idiot, now grinned like a hound eager for the scraps. He danced around the press questions, spinning tales of diplomatic genius, of a peace process only possible through the wisdom of his dear leader, all the while ignoring the cold, hard truth that this was the day America abdicated its role as a beacon of strength and instead became the sidekick to an empire built on political assassinations and frozen assets. And so the reckoning. Empires do not fall all at once. They do not crumble in grand cinematic collapses. No, they rot first, hollowed out from within, gnawed to death by cowardice and corruption, eaten alive by the very people sworn to protect them. The fall of Rome did not begin with the sack of the city, but with the slow decay of its leadership, deals made in whispers, and with men who traded their honor for silver or power. And here we are now, walking the same path. This was the day we lost the high ground, the day we became the villains of the story. And make no mistake, history will not remember this administration kindly. It will not carve the names of these men into the annals of greatness. It will not speak of them in the same breath as Roosevelt, as Kennedy, as Lincoln. No, they will be a cautionary tale, an abhorrent lesson in how democracies die, not with an explosion or a revolution, but with a soft, pathetic whimper of a leader too afraid to stand up to tyranny. But let history know this: we the people are not them. Let it be written that there were those who fought, those who resisted, those who did not bow, that the flag may have been dragged through the dirt today, but there were still hands willing to pick it up. That while our leaders may have embarrassed us before the world, we do not share in their shame. For the great American Republic may be wounded, may be gasping for air, but it is not yet dead. Not yet. Define still death.